van días y varias semanas.
He hasn't given no response, and it's been days, and it's been weeks, and he What do you think, Sarah, this canyon right here?
It's absolutely incredible. I haven't been to Tijuana in a lot of years, and seeing how wide open it is. I mean, I don't know if you could turn the camera around and show everyone just how wide open it is. It's incredible.
A couple of questions. So. Rashida, what is your opinion on the massive child trafficking that is happening? Y espero logren su objetivo de la justicia a su país. Luchen por su país. Say the best sacrifice for your country. Están bloqueando el acceso. ¡Viva! La Policía Federal o la autoridad nos está deteniendo el acceso y nos está deteniendo el paso para poder cruzar hacia el Zócalo, señores.
How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News and America's Boys News. God bless everybody that is watching. God bless our country of Mexico, our city of Tijuana, and God bless the United States of America. Let's thank God for giving us 2 legs, 2 arms, a mind that we can think, a heart that we can feel, and eyes that we can see. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining on this evening, a little bit late at night to the East Coast. It's almost 11 o'clock at night, but it's 7:39 to be exact over here at the West Coast, West Coast Pacific time. It's 17th of June today. Take a minute and share, people, this video out, as censorship, it is really taking over our platforms, but, we need to fight censorship by sharing, putting a like on the video. As you put a like on the video, the algorithms will break. So we need to put a like on the video and share. God bless everybody that is watching. Thank you so much. Buy me a coffee. It's on top of the link. If you guys like to contribute to our independent reporting and broadcasting, Buy Me a Coffee is on top of the link. We are live on both platforms, Facebook and YouTube. Now, let's get right into it. Breaking news from Tapachula. As yesterday, this was breaking, but now, again, it is breaking news because the farmers and the citizens of this particular town in Tapachula, Mexico, that is the south door that connects to Guatemala, have blocked the exit for the representatives of the Institute National of Immigration, the representatives also of the organization that is called OPIS, and then also they blocked the exit for the sub-representative federal subdelegation of the south zone of this particular place. What happened? You guys remember not too long ago, about a month ago, I gave you guys information that the federal government of our country of Mexico, decided to create 17 shelters in our country for children, for unaccompanied children. 17 shelters for unaccompanied children. the majority of them were going to be installed and built, and ultimately some warehouses were going to be rented in the part of Tapachula. This has not fulfilled the promises of the president of helping first the Tapachula citizens and the border security, which is also a disaster over there in the south door that connects to Guatemala, that is Tapachula. Yesterday, a few of the governmental officials with the Institute National of Immigration arrived to this small town that is called Union Juarez in Tapachula. Their number one purpose to go over there is to scout for places and to look for places so they can build a shelter for unaccompanied minors. This did not fit with the farmers and the indigenous people of Tapachula. They said, no, you're not going to do that. This is an actual picture of the location where they were in the main delegation of the you can say governmental palace of this small municipal city. As they were right there, the farmers and the indigenous people and the people that they live on this small town that is Union Juarez in Tapachula gathered themselves, blocked the whole exits for all these vehicles to exit of the governmental palace, and they demanded to speak to the lady by the name of Paola Lopez Rodas, and also to the subsecretary of OPIS, that is an organization that comes from Ciudad de Mexico. They blocked all the exits and all the entrances to this place. This ultimately, it trickled to the National Guard to arrive to this particular place. As they arrived to this place, they tried to push the protesters and also the indigenous people as they were protesting for this shelter not to happen. Now, this is a picture right here of basically the outside of the place. As you can see, there's federal agents right here on the left, and all the way to the back, there's National Guard agents all the way that they are ultimately protecting the governmental officials. This is outside of the governmental palace. As you can see, there's all indigenous people and third age people. Those are the ones that are really concerned with this situation. What was the main concern of the indigenous people and the Tapachula citizens? The main concern for them is that if they start building these shelters for unaccompanied minors, what is the other thing that you are going to bring to us? Trafficking. A lot of traffickers are going to be surrounding the shelters. As you guys know, over here in the shelters all around Tijuana, as I have shown you, there's enormous trafficking and there's no enormous instigation by activists from the United States of America who instigate migrants to do things, to migrate in incorrect situations. And ultimately, not only that, coyotes and, other people that they are starting to, approach the shelters to advise the migrants how to do things illegally or irregularly. That it is ultimately what these farmers and what these indigenous people do not want for their community. They don't want traffickers. They don't want coyotes. And ultimately, they are saying that if they are going to bring this unaccompanied shelter to their town, they're later on going to bring an adult shelter. This adult shelter is going to bring more people, and then the city is going to be surrounded as Ciudad Hidalgo, that is the main city that connects to Guatemala. It's being surrounded right now by thousands and thousands of migrants. So this is amazing, people. This is incredible because the people, the indigenous people, and also not only the indigenous people, but the farmers and, middle-class citizens are protesting that they don't want unaccompanied shelters surrounding their municipal city. Why? Because it is you're incentivizing trafficking. Look what Joe Biden just did to the borders. Look what Joe Biden just did to the borders. Completely incentivized for the organized crime and the cartel to have an open window and to start putting people through places where the wall is not built, where the wall is open, and start pushing migrants through in undocumented and in irregular fashion. This is ultimately what these people do not want. So the most breaking news is after 30 hours, people, 30 hours, 30 hours of these people being retained, the governmental official from Institute National of Immigration. Imagine this. These farmers stood their ground and they said, you are not going to put a shelter for unaccompanied minors right here. You're going to provoke another problem. So after holding them at an office without no exit, as you can see right here, the Institute agents from the Institute National of Immigration and governmental officials, also the subdirector of the organization OPIS, Damaris Farelas, that is her name, and also the subdelegate of the South Zone, of the Federal South Zone of the ENAMI by the name of Paola Lopez Rodas. They were held in this building for more than 30 hours. And, the people from the governmental representing the government, they just got released. Right now, they just let them go after 30 hours. This is another picture of them inside of the facilities right here. This is the woman in white. It is the head chief of that represents the Institute National of Immigration. You see right here the indigenous people, the middle class citizens, and the citizens that they live in that particular town of Union Juarez, Tapachula, telling this individual that represents the Institute National of Immigration that they don't want unaccompanied shelters in their area. Wow. And after 30 hours of holding them there and telling them, we are not leaving until you agree that we do not want this over here in our city. Ultimately, not only that, but the main purpose of these people doing this is that they're saying, for God's sake, we don't have jobs. We're just recuperating from COVID. We're trying to get the economy back rolling a little bit. And we have an enormous, insecurity problem. And you want to bring, an unaccompanied minor shelter into our city. It's not happening. And this is what has happened. 30 hours of these people outside until the government said, okay, we have to send an information to specifically, the main office of the government in Ciudad de Mexico, that this is not a place that is going to be fit for a shelter for unaccompanied minors. So they accomplish, until now, the indigenous people and the middle class people, they have accomplished that with the power of their decision and the power of the people, they have accomplished that they do not want an unaccompanied minor shelter in their community. Why? The number one reason why, again, is because they're saying a lot of trafficking of children happens. How's everybody doing? Thank you for joining in. Share this out and like the video, because when you like the video, you break the algorithms, so it gets more people in the live feed. Buy me a coffee is on top of the link if people want to contribute to our independent reporting. Thank you so much. So again, for everybody, a recap. Breaking news for everybody. The Institute National of Immigration in Tapachula, Mexico, that is the south door that connects to Guatemala, that is where all the migrants are coming in. One of the municipal cities of Tapachula, named by Union Juarez, was going to get a shelter for unaccompanied minors. Remember this, that 2 months ago, I gave you guys the information that the head chief of child services arrived to Tapachula, that is the border to Guatemala, to communicate to the whole country that they were going to make 17 shelters for unaccompanied minors. The majority, the 60% of them, were going to be put on Tapachula. So the Institute National of Immigration started working and started searching on which cities they will put the minors. One of them was Union Juarez right here. And as you see, the indigenous people and also the middle class citizens and also, the farmers got together and went outside to the governmental palace, where these governmental officials from the Institute National of Immigration and also the subdirector of the organization OPIS, that is OPIS, that is an organization that comes from in our, on the center of the country of Mexico, and also the subdelegate of the Institute National of Immigration by the name of Paola Lopez Rodas. They were in there, and all the farmers got together. They blocked the exits for these people to not leave. As you can see right here, this is a picture from outside of the building where they are awaiting, for more than 30 hours. They awaited for a response from the governmental officials that they are not going to put a unaccompanied minor shelter in their facilities, in their city, in their municipal city. So this is, this is amazing. Why? Number one reason why. Yes, there's a problem with unaccompanied minors. There's a humongous problem. More than 21,000 the United States has in custody right now in detention centers. This is a humongous problem. We got a problem that we need to help the children. Yes, we understand that. But by incentivizing them to leave their home is not going to be the solution. Rescuing them from violence and abuse, yes, it is the solution. But you need to implement more security in their country. This is why the $4 billion that Joe Biden is sending to Central America, is the most incompetent and stupid thing to do, to give all the $4 billion to nonprofit organizations. Why are you doing that? Invest on security, invest on infrastructure, invest on the security of these children, invest on education. Why don't you invest on the country? Remember what the congressman from Guatemala said to Miss Sarah Carter from the Miss Sarah Carter show. She's the congressman from Guatemala said, "We want trade. We don't want aid. We want trade. We don't want aid." So if you don't incentivize these kids to leave their home, you will not have this problem. We will not have the idea of building 17 shelters in our country of Mexico when we have 1.2 million kids abandoned in Mexico. And you're incentivizing kids to come because they already know, oh, there's a shelter over here, there's a shelter over there, I can go over here, I can go over there. I'm going to leave my home. I'm just going to leave because President Biden told me that, he prefers me to go instead of dying. So I'm just going to leave. It's just amazing, the psychology that they're using for this influx, this enormous influx of migrants to continue. And right here, you see Mexican farmers and you see indigenous Mexican people and ultimately also middle-class citizens that they are protesting that they don't want this, that they don't want this shelter. Why? Because they know that the problems that there is going to happen. They know. Look what happened to Tapachula. Look what is happening right now to the shelter that it was a processing center that by the name of, Siglo XXI. That I've been there, more than 2 times I've been there. 3 times I've been into this place. And there was a riot yesterday with more than 800 migrants that they're in this process center that is called 21st Century, that I've been there 3 times and have shown you guys outside. And this was one of the pictures that escaped from one of the phones of the migrants that I don't know how in the hell they got a picture of it, but they were 800 people rioting inside of this shelter. These are the things that you don't want in a city. These are the things that you don't want outside of your communities. This is the thing that you don't want close to your city. You don't want close to your town. These are the things that you don't want close. Ultimately, there's going to be a lot of problems. And all these problems, they're going to continue if you incentivize and if you start saying, you know what, there's no problem with us having a shelter here. There's no problem. We can keep a shelter. We can, we are here to help. We're here to do this. We're here to do that. And ultimately that leads to more problems and more problems. That's what is happening right now in the city of Tijuana. That you have a migrant camp, which is a humongous problem, and it is growing. It is absolutely growing. Whoever says that is not growing, my God, you're so stupid and so incompetent, and you have a peanut of a brain, and still you have it. But for God's sake, it is growing so much that they are now taking over spaces from the people that work in the customs of exit into our country of Mexico. So not only they have taken over that particular part But ultimately now you have those areas which they were for federal workers, and now they cannot use those areas because those areas right now, they are filled with tents. So those are the kind of situations which these people right now in Tapachula, they don't want. Like this. This is right here in Tijuana. Do you think that Tijuana citizens are happy? The Tijuana citizens outside in the community, they're happy with this? Do you think the small contributors are happy with this? The taxi drivers are happy with this? The business owners, they're happy with this right here, this migrant camp? So they don't want this. They know what the effect it is going to happen. They don't want this. This is the reason why they have been, they were protesting today. They were protesting today for more than 30 hours, people. It is amazing. More than 30 hours, these farmers and these indigenous people and these middle-class citizens, they were protesting outside of this governmental, building as they were awaiting for the governmental officials to come out and say, you know what? All right, you guys are right. We are not going to build this. We're going to respect your area and just let the governmental officials leave, please, because they are going to be, going back to their jobs. And they are waited for more than 30 hours. Look at this. 30 hours right there. It's just unbelievable. And the decision of these people to do this is because they got tired of it. They're like, you know what? This is not fair for us. This is not fair for us. We believe that first is the citizens, and first you're not helping the citizens. And here you see it as they are you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people from the Institute National of Immigration who are listening to the citizens as they are saying, you know what? First is ours, and then it's, the others. What is going on with us? When are you going to help us? And you're going to bring another problem into our communities. It's illogical. It's really illogical. So it's not that you don't want to help the children. Ultimately, I'm a huge advocate to fight against child trafficking and also migrant abuse towards migrant women. I'm a huge advocate for that, but this is not the way to build more shelters. What is your message to the migrant population? That make them come, make them leave their home, leave your home. Don't stay in your home, leave your home, come over here. When we need to help these countries to fix their infrastructure, their security system, their border security, fight gang violence over there, fight their security, support them so we can have capitalist businesses and trade. So it's a win-win situation. And ultimately you get this stuff. But for God's sake, building more unaccompanied children. There is a humongous problem. My God, this is a sensitive topic. The unaccompanied children is a really sensitive topic. And your solution is to build more shelters in Mexico. That is not a solution. You're overflowed. You're overpopulated by unaccompanied minors. Something is happening down south. That means there's something it needs to get fixed down south. Not your country, down south. If the United States is receiving 21,000 unaccompanied minors, something is happening with Mexico. Mexico is not protecting the borders. How they're letting all these children get all the way to the north border? How in the hell did this happen? If you're not helping Mexico, something is happening with Guatemala. If you're not helping Guatemala, something is happening with El Salvador. If you're not helping El Salvador, something is happening with Nicaragua. If Nicaragua, something is happening with Honduras, and so. This has a lot to do, and all this is provoked. All of this right now, it is provoked by mixed messages of the actual administration of Joe Biden. Miss Sarah Carter did an unbelievable interview with the president of Guatemala, Mr. Yamate. And Miss Sarah Carter said, what is the number one problem that you see on this? And the president of Guatemala said, for God's sake, it is mixed messages of this Biden administration. First you say, hey, come in. Then you say, stop. And he said, I am glad that Miss Kamala Harris said today, do not come. And she didn't say it once. She said it 3 times, as they have lied to the migrant population, as Obama lied to the migrant population, as Joe Biden lied to the migrant population, as Kamala Harris lied to the migrant population, as Jen Psaki lied to the migrant population. Everybody's lying, but nobody is saying, oh, okay, this is truth. They were going to help us. They were going to let us in. It's just amazing. How's everybody doing? God bless everybody that is watching. Thank you so much for joining this late. We are live right now, broadcasting you from Tijuana, Mexico. Follow my partner right now, Real Anthony Agüero, as he has been going live in McAllen, Texas. It is just unbelievable what is going on over there, man. And I'm not going to talk about, I'm just going to say something, because we were going to talk about it in a video together, and we are going to talk about it in a video together. But Anthony saw something that is extremely horrific. And I will tell you, as we are in the presence of these horrific events, we absorb all this really, traumatizing situations. I have been interviewing people from Michoacán, Mexico, and Guerrero. And you guys don't even imagine the horrors that they have gone through. Tomorrow morning, I will do a live feed with all the interviews that we have created with the people of Michoacán and how they have been attacked by the cartel. That is going to be clear evidence of their cases on how horrific their situation is and how our country has failed and it is incompetent to fight the cartel. So I advise tomorrow to people to be respectful on the live feed. I advise tomorrow that comments like this, don't come, do not come, please stay. Those comments, I'm not going to accept them anymore. They're incompetent comments. I don't believe that those comments need to be addressed anymore. I believe that we are much better human beings than that. It's not let them in. It's to say, okay, these people are leaving because of a problem. What do we do to fix that problem so they will not stop leaving their homes? Because the majority of them, they don't want to leave their homes. They don't want to leave their homes, but they're leaving because of violence and delinquents. So there's a false government. It is a corrupt government. But the United States cannot help everybody, Oscar Blue. It's not about only the United States of America. It's about everybody migrating in the whole continent of America. Everybody migrating in Europe. It's a globalist problem. It's a globalist problem. The United Nations have created this problem. The main cancer of this problem is the United Nations. It needs to be stopped. George Soros, the philanthropist, supposedly by a leftist tabloid writer, needs to be stopped with this demonic agendas of globalization. That is what is causing all these horrific things to happen to all these people. And you push and you push and you push and you push this influx and you push this influx and influx and influx. But you guys are on the other side of the screen. You guys do not feel when a person is crying in front of you. And they're saying they're trying to assassinate me. They're trying to do this to me in my land, and I don't want to leave my land. I want to stay in my land. Like the people of Venezuela. You interview them, and they say, we were a first-class world country, Oscar. We love our country of Venezuela, but there's no way to live over there because of the totalitarianism of communism. Communism and socialism have destroyed our country. There's no way. We need a better life. If that is not the United States, so what is it? The solution is not the United States. Is not the solution for the world. No, it's not. But it's to stop all these dictators, all these corrupt politicians, all this corrupt system that is polluting the world. That is what the main focus is. Not do not come out of a tax dollar. Those kind of answers, for God's sake. Are you going to be justifying yourself this whole another 4 years about that? Let's fix the problem and let's attack the cancer where it's at. If they are suffering from violence, for God's sake, let's expose the violence on those particular parts of the country so the people will know what is going on and the government will do something about it. If they're suffering from killings of women and assassination towards women, let's expose that so everybody will know that there's violence over there so people will know about it. If they're suffering because of poverty, it's because of their corrupt government and their polluted system with these politicians and their parasites. So let's expose that so the world will know and then they can fix it immediately. That is help. So tomorrow we are going to show interviews. And I will tell you something. As Ben Berquam, our colleague, and myself, we were doing these interviews. You know, I will tell you a little bit about what happened in one interview. Two of them. And actually, I saw him. It was really hard to hold a tear for Ben and for myself. I can see his watery eyes, and you know, I was looking at him, and I experienced that every day. I experience that every day. I see it over here every day. So it's not that I got used to it. It's a thing that you come to your heart to build it as a rock, because you hear it so many times that you're like, oh my God, again, there's a problem over there. But when one of our colleagues, Ben, came over here and he heard it as people are saying to him, we don't want to go to the U.S., but we cannot live in our country of Mexico. We are under persecution. They want to assassinate us. I don't want to leave. Look, I love working in my land. I love my country. Where can I go? You tell me. Give me a solution. And when you see that, and when you understand the situation, you will understand that this problem is not about just one solution up north. It's about a problem that is occurring in the world. It's a division. There's a humongous problem in the United States of America right now. There's a huge problem. There's a divisional war between two political parties. One political party wants the communistic ideologies and is a globalist. It is a Democratic Party. And the other one is not doing anything about it. That is the Republicans. They want to do something about it, but all of a sudden they feel that they're trying to take power away from them, so they ride on the coattail of the Democrats. So they're riding on a ship that is kind of the Titanic. They don't want it to sink. So if they're on this side, Republicans will go on this side. If the decision is going to the right, the Republicans will go to the right. If the decision is going to the left, the Republicans are going to the left. There's no moral agreement. There's a divisional race right now between race. There's activist groups that they're destroying the country. There's a liberalism ideology right now at schools that is destroying the history and destroying the educational system. There's an insecurity at the border. The economy, supposedly Biden is saying that he has created so many jobs, and I see that California is still the same and there's poverty all over the place. But you got, artists with Gavin Newsom going on a TV program and promoting the vaccine. That it is a humongous problem. Trafficking of children, trafficking of women, trafficking of drugs. The United States is going through a place where they're trying to eliminate the foundation, where it's going, the history of the country, to preserve the economy and the capitalistic leadership that they have around the world. The United States is going through that process right now, that they're trying to change it and destroy everything that it was built to build it again into their own comfort, into their own new world order ideology. My God, Oscar Blue is such a conspiracy theorist. So QAnon-y. Right? That is what you're trying to do. And as you're going through that process, and the United States is under globalistic and communistic attack, you have the whole continent of America that is almost communist. So the number one purpose is to go to the United States and convert it into one. This is why the answers do not come. What are you doing? Close the borders. Another one that is, oh my God, how are you going to close the borders? Your economy is going to collapse. What you need to do is expose the problems that are occurring into Central America, South America. As leader of the world that it is, the United States of America, it has to understand that their responsibility right now, it is to expose the problems that are occurring in Central America and South America so their country will not be affected. And also, ultimately, not only that, but you have an option right now. You want to help child trafficking? End Child Trafficking Now Act. Pushed by Lance Gooden, a senator Republican, and also Miss Marsha Blackburn, another senator from Tennessee. End Child Trafficking Act Now. What it will bring to the table, it is going to stop the enormous recycling of children that is occurring at the borders. The recycling is using a child to only, achieve the political asylum, and ultimately also to traffic children, to create a fake family, to create a fake matrimony, whatever they want to create. So the End Child Trafficking Act Now, if you guys search it, if you guys Google it, if you guys do that search, you guys can push these senators, Marsha Blackburn and also Lance Gooden, to write them a letter and say, I'm behind you. I want to support you. What can we do? It starts in your country. It starts with your people. It starts with the communities. It starts with your society. It starts in your home. There is where it starts, and you can expand. You want to run, but you don't know how to crawl. You want to ride a bike, but you never rode a tricycle. It is just common sense, common steps of life, of nature, of life. Exactly like if you want to defend your country, how are you going to defend your country if you're not even, you want to defend the world, but you're not defending your country? So you have to expose what is happening around the world so you can protect your family, so you can protect your country from this evil from coming. Wake up, people. It is time. Now it's time for this kind of situation to stop. And these Mexican people right here, citizens, indigenous middle-class people, and also workers, and also farmers, that they demonstrated today that they're not going to fall into a globalist, into organizations that they're taking over little by little their cities in our country. It's exactly the same as the United Nations rented a hotel over here in Tijuana without the permission of the citizens around the neighborhood, without nobody telling the citizens, hey, we're going to rent a hotel right here that is for all deportees or all people that they're being returned back with 40% of COVID, infected. And they're going to be processed right here to see if they have COVID or not, so they can be released into, the population. They never advised. They never told anybody. They never asked nobody if that was okay with them. So they just do whatever the hell they want because they're under their humanitarian wing right, like these lawyers. They want to do whatever they want. You cannot remove a migrant cap because you're violating their humanitarian right. It is under that idea. You let that particular cancer into your country, it is going to convert to that. Law and order, processes of immigration reform for people to migrate correctly and better opportunities to do it correctly. A process, a foundation, a manifesto, something that is put out there. For God's sake, no mixed signals. Number one thing, no mixed signals. Be concrete and be straightforward. This is how you do it. Exhibit A to Exhibit C. You like it? No, I don't. There's no other option. Exhibit A, Exhibit C. That's it. Thank you so much for joining in. God bless everybody that is watching. Follow my partner, Real Anthony Agüero, as he's going to be live in McAllen, Texas. It's going to be great. He's broadcasting a lot of truth. So go over there and support his page, support his YouTube, and he's continuously going live at YouTube. And also, he goes live at Facebook, but his Facebook page. For God, man, he's so censored on Facebook. Horrible. So go to his YouTube, as he normally goes on YouTube, as Anthony Oredo, real Anthony Oredo. He's live on every platform, but particularly YouTube and also sometimes Facebook. Also, follow Ben Berquam and Real America's Voice News. Download the app at Roku.com. Also, you can follow Will Johnson and Unite America First as Let's Talk About It. Also, follow Miss Sarah Carter on Miss Sarah Carter's show. God bless. She's a phenomenal journalist. Incredible. The best. And you can follow me at Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Telegram, and Rumble. Buy me a coffee. Also, you can follow me right there. Tomorrow, we will do our normal live at Buy Me a Coffee later on this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining this live feed. If you guys like to contribute to our independent reporting and media, right there, you have the app. God bless you all. Have a beautiful night. Stay safe. And like we always say, people, peace and love. Because always your country's first. God bless.
Ya van días y varias semanas.
He hasn't given no response, and it's been days and it's been weeks, and he What do you think, Sarah, this canyon right here?
It's absolutely incredible. I haven't been to Tijuana in a lot of years, and seeing how wide open it is. I mean, I don't know if you could turn the camera around and show everyone just how wide open it is. It's incredible.
Couple of questions.
No.
Rashida, what is your opinion on the massive child trafficking that is happening? Y espero logren su objetivo de la justicia a su país. Luchen por su país. Say the basically fight for your country. Están bloqueando el acceso. ¡Viva! La Policía Federal o la autoridad nos está deteniendo el acceso y nos está deteniendo el paso para poder cruzar hacia el Zócalo, señores.